Alright, so this is probably the most requested rant I've ever done. Welcome back, cunts, to Smite Rants, where I take a god. Screw the intro segment. We've got way too much to talk about with this shit stain of a god release. So unlike some of my other rants, where they're more lighthearted and I don't genuinely hate the god I'm ranting over, this one is like 20% satire and 80% genuine hatred. I don't think I've ever been given a harder suck than this in my life. You use the anal beads, still get the suck. Use my ult, still get the suck. Use my jump, still get the suck. This man has just an unstoppable suck machine and he needs to be taken down a peg. Credits to the ability names for this guy though. Life of the party is pretty accurate since he's the only one left alive after he presses 4 in a team fight. So this ultimate seems like the sort of thing you can counterplay by like having a tank step in front of it or something. Well, for starters, the sheer force of this man's suck gives your tank no time to even try and block it for you. But even if they somehow manage the impossible, it does percentage max health damage on top of the base values. So even a tank is scared of getting hit by this shit at all stages of the game. So even at face value, this ultimate seems broken. Even if it doesn't one-hit you, yes, it's rumoured that that can happen sometimes, it's just rare. He stuns you for 2 seconds anyway, which basically guarantees he can send you to the Shadow Realm with the rest of his busted kit. But even on top of all of that, it applies more than the maximum amount of hysteria needed to targets. So by the time you actually hit the coffin, you're taking the full beating of his broken passive as well. Honestly, the tick damage part of the ult is slept on quite a bit as well. While it's nothing compared to the one-hit capabilities of the burst part of his ultimate, the tick damage can actually add up to another 300 or 400 damage by late game, so don't underestimate it. But even on top of all that ridiculous CC and damage, Baron himself is CC immune and also has 50%, yes, 50% damage mitigation while channeling this ultimate. So you can't even pile on him when he ults to try and kill him and stop it. He's literally just unkillable. Wow, I spent an entire rant's worth of time almost just on his ultimate. Let's move on to the rest of his kit. So with his bullshit passive that I just mentioned, at its core, targets with max hysteria will take 25% increased damage from Baron. So that 1k you will be taking from his ult is now 1250. How adorable. Just kidding, this is depressing. Please never do this again, Hi-Rez.
But I'm not done yet!
This passive also does a ridiculous amount of additional effects to the rest of his abilities, which by the way are already strong without these bonuses. Having these just tips him over the edge. We'll cover these additional effects as we go through the rest of his kit so they make more sense. So moving on to his one, you know it's bad when one of your abilities literally becomes its own meme for all the wrong reasons. That TADA might as well be an air raid siren, because you know you're all going to get blown up as soon as you hear it. What's interesting about this ability though is that the damage actually seems kinda low, like on the wiki and stuff. But then you realise that Hi-Rez actually just lied to us and it actually does about 1.5 times the damage that is listed. This ability alone is enough to cause PTSD in your average gold player. Why am I insulting goldies? This guy one-hits everyone. Doesn't matter if you're Masters or Bronze 6. Anyway, you know that passive that I mentioned earlier? Yep, that shit reduces attack speed by 30% and power by 30%. So effectively it takes away an entire item from your opponents. Not only are you one-hitting people, you're also making them fight with 5 items instead of 6. Nice meme, Hi-Rez. Oh, and the cherry on top for this ability is the fucking 9-second cooldown at all ranks, which makes this early game just as busted as late game, because you can use it twice per wave and just snowball whatever lane you're in. It even works in jungle because of this. Alright, that's enough TADA! Let's move on to Heber Carpet, but heals you on one-hits people. I've ranted about Heber before on this channel, and how his slow immunity for the entire team on a regular ability is dumb. Well, apparently Hi-Rez hate me and decided to make an even more broken version of that shit and put it on an already bloated god kit. So this does a little bit less damage than TADA, aka about 80% of your health instead of 100%. But it makes up for that by providing a flat heal and a missing health heal, so it can end up healing the entire team for close to 500 if they're low in a team fight late game. But the real kicker is that if the target you hit is above 30 hysteria, which by the way is real easy to get them to, then everyone affected by it gains 40% movement speed and slow immunity. Oh, and did I mention that it also removes any slows you had on you in the first place as well? Well, it does. Have fun dealing with that shit on a base 11-second cooldown, because here at Hi-Rez, we value our players. And finally, arguably his most annoying ability for me, Wrap It Up. This ability reminds me of the move Wrap in Pokemon Red, which basically made you unable to do anything for 3 to 5 turns, except in Smite, it's 2.5 seconds instead of turns. So this ability's damage is actually slept on quite a bit. Since his other abilities deal like a huge amount of damage, but this ticks 8 times and is capable of up to 336 base and 40% scaling in damage. Granted, that's not insane, but it can add up to about 500 or 600 damage late game. But most people don't recognise how much this is actually doing to them. Anyway, the main focus of this ability is that it provides 2.5 seconds of crippling CC. Just to clarify, it doesn't actually cripple, that was just a descriptor. The slow scales up in strength, eventually ending in a root, which means that after about half a second of the slow being active, you're almost rooted anyway. So it basically ends ends up being a slow scaling into a 2-second root on a 12-second cooldown that sets up for the rest of his kit. But the worst part of this ability is that even if you're root immune, such as in Kali's ultimate or Kabrakan's one, this shit still roots you. Hell, you can even beads the root and sometimes you'll still be rooted. Nice one, low res. Oh, and did I mention that it spreads the snakes to other enemies if the original target was above 30 hysteria? Yep. That's a bullshit passive working its way in again. So if you manage to hit this on 2 or 3 people in a fight, it's actually insane the amount of CC that it provides. Oh, and I almost forgot, it gives you 3 multi-potions on steroids that refill in the fountain for the same price of 3 regular multi-pots. Because why not, right? I know he's getting nerfs soon and the rooting issue is being fixed, but he's still going to be OP as hell after that, and it doesn't really change the fact that his kit in itself was just annoying. But anyway, that's enough ranting for one day. This is a fucking long one, and that's because literally every aspect of this kit is busted. Damage? Check. Healing? Check. CC? Check. Debuffs? Check. Buffs? Check. The only thing he really doesn't have is true mobility. But honestly, the speed and slow unit on his 2 like kinda makes up for that. But anyway, that's it for today. Hope you guys enjoyed the rant. Let me know if you guys hate this cunt as much as me in the comments, and subscribe for more rants, lists, discussions, and guides from me in the future, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out, nerds.